Good morning. Good morning, Chicago. Good morning, Illinois. Good morning, all you teachers, administrators, staff members, and all of the wonderful people on the front lines teaching our children and doing the best they can every day. This is Deborah Lynch, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar entitled E-Learning Tips for Teachers, an Intro to Class Dojo, Khan Academy, and Screencastify. We are honored today to have a team of presenters from Chicago State faculty and alum. Just a reminder that this webinar is part of the weekly series of free webinars offered by Chicago State University with free CPDUs for attending. But before we start, I'd like to go over some housekeeping. It is recommended that you view the webinar in full mode and have all other tabs or web pages closed for better viewing quality. If you encounter any technical problems, please try to troubleshoot your device or your internet connection independently. The majority of times, the technical troubles you might encounter can be solved on your end, and we have no way of attending to those issues from our end with such a large group. You would just check the audio tab in your control panel and see if there's a problem. Next, I'd like to draw your attention to an important feature on the control panel. You will see a tab for questions. Please write down your questions in the space provided. We will be reviewing those questions and sharing them after each presenter does their presentation. Please make sure your questions are sent to everyone and not private so that we can see them and share them. The session will be recorded and shared. You will receive an email from us later today with your certificate of completion, the PowerPoint presentation, and the link to the recorded webinar, as well as a link to our Chicago State University College of Education homepage with all the previous links for our previous webinars and a glimpse of our future schedule. These webinars will run every Thursday through June 11th. Finally, at the end of the webinar, we ask you to complete an exit survey sharing your evaluation of the webinar and any suggestions you might have for future topics or issues you would like to see us address. So before we get into our presentation, we'd like to do a quick poll and see who is with us today. So I'm going to open up our first poll and just get a sense from the group as to who you are. So if you would please take a moment to answer this question. Are you a gen ed teacher, a special ed teacher, a school clinician, a paraprofessional, or an administrator? We'll wait a moment and see who's here today. All right, another minute or so. Give everybody a chance to participate. And I'm going to close that poll and we'll take a look. All right, so it looks like over half, a little over half, 51% gen ed, 30% special ed, 8% of you are clinicians, 8% are paraprofessionals, and 3% are administrators. So welcome. We're delighted that you're here today. All right, the next question, next and last question. All right, let me close that one. All right, next question coming up. How prepared do you feel to use the tools that we are highlighting today? So do you feel very well prepared for Class Dojo, Khan Academy, or Screencastify? Somewhat prepared, not so sure, a little prepared, or not prepared at all? All right, another couple seconds before we close that poll. And most of you have voted. All right, I'm going to close that poll. And let's see what we have. So 4% very well prepared, okay. 41% somewhat prepared. 18% not so sure, 25% a little prepared, and 12% not prepared at all. So 37, 47, 57. So about 55% of the group today feels not sure, a little prepared, or not prepared at all. So never fear. We've got our team are ready to go with some good information about these topics. So I'm going to move into introducing our first presenter, which will be on the topic of using Class Dojo. Our presenter is Shirley Roberson. She's an assistant principal at Andrew Carnegie Elementary School, and she's been in the field of education for over 15 years. With a master's degree in educational leadership from Chicago State University, she spends her time providing professional development for colleagues to share her wealth of knowledge. And when she's not working, she's at home spending quality time with her husband, Phil, and 3 children, Brianna, Ryan, both class of 2020 graduates, and Kai. So without further ado, let me have Shirley share her screen, and go ahead and take it away, Shirley.
Thank you, Dr. Lynch, and good morning, everyone. Thank you again for that very warm welcome. My name is Shirley Roberson, and today I will be sharing my screen and presenting to you effective uses for Class Dojo. When I do any professional development, I like to start with why. Why Class Dojo? Well, as we know, the remote learning period, we know how much stress it is for educators, so we can only imagine what our parents and students are feeling. Using Class Dojo is a way to stay connected with your students and their families. It is also free and easy to navigate. There are a few ways that you can access Class Dojo. You can access it via the website, classdojo.com, or you can download the Class Dojo app. Now, I can tell you that the app has more features than the website does. Class Dojo also have put together resources for social emotional learning. So for our clinicians that have joined us, if you are looking for resources, you can find them at ideas.classdojo.com or classdojo.com/mindful moment. They also have a support, if you are looking for support from your colleagues, they also have a teacher community on Facebook, and you could go ahead and join that Facebook. Just recently, in the last 2 weeks, they had over 10,000 members join. So if you're looking for a space to just collaborate with your colleagues or other inspiring clinicians, feel free to join their Facebook page. So where do I start? First, we are in the 4th quarter for if you're working for Chicago Public Schools. And I don't want to add any additional stress on your plate already. So what I'm asking you to do is to consider if there's a place for Class Dojo in your remote learning plan as of this moment. If there is, then the rest of this presentation will be helpful for you. If there is not, then I would advise that you would consider it when school resumes in the fall. If you decide to use Class Dojo, you should inform your parents of the new platform that you will be using and set expectations and guidelines for them. Let them know how often you will be using Class Dojo. Let them know what their task will be in an effort to help their child. Know that Class Dojo is best used or optimized if you're using Google Chrome. And I suggest that out of all of the features that I show you on today, that you start simple. Some of the features of Class Dojo today that I will review are their class story, school story, digital portfolio, private and public messages, how to access quiet hours, and then to let you know that Class Dojo can be translated into 35 different languages by the parents. Class story versus school story. And I'll go in a minute and show you what the class story looks like. Class story is facilitated by the teacher. The sign up for Class Dojo is very simple. You can either sign parents up by way of their telephone or email address, or you can sign up the students by way of a class code or a QR code. Only the families and students signed up to your page can view your class story or any photos, any videos, or any files that you decide to upload. I can tell you that if you're using the website, You cannot upload videos from the website, but you can upload them if you're using the app. You can, however, record videos if you're in the website. For the administrators that are watching, you can use the school story where you have access to every parent who is attached to a teacher who has a class. They can view your school story. Here you can create events for your school that may be coming up. You may have a LSC meeting. You may have a graduation or something that you're going to do to support the class of 2020 graduates. You can create an event and it will pin at the top of your school story, and it will remind the parents every time they log on of the events that are coming up. You can also upload photos, videos if you're using the app, and file uploads as well. Here's a look from Class Story from my parent page. I did receive permission from my daughter's teacher, Miss Kathy, to share her Class Dojo. My daughter, Kai Roberson is my daughter, and she's in 2nd grade at Carnegie Elementary School. As you can see, this is a screenshot of what my home screen looks like. And you can see Miss Kathy has uploaded a video on an opinion writing. This is her sample for how she wants her students to fill out the graphic organizer as they prepare to write an opinion piece on why their mother should receive the Mother of the Year award. Also on Miss Kathy's page, and also on every other teacher's page that works for Carnegie Elementary, they have to upload their e-learning lesson plan every Monday for the parents. Now, don't worry if you can't see it that well right now. When you're in Class Dojo, you can double click it and it will expand. But I know as a mother that my child today on Thursday has to complete 2 RAS Kids books where she has to listen and record herself reading them and answer the comprehension questions. She has 2 IXL assignments, one for writing on an opinion piece, and also her math lessons. And then she has a ReadWorks assignment where she has a comprehension story titled Mother's Day. So you can see the interconnectedness of everything that Miss Kathy is doing in her e-learning lesson plan, as well as the samples that she puts up on her class page. As a teacher, you also have the option to assign work to students in their digital portfolio. The digital portfolio is easy for students or parents to access. Students can submit pictures, videos, or files, and it is safe. It can only be viewed by the teacher or any administrator that is a co-teacher on the teacher's account, the student themselves, and their parents. Here's an example of an assignment that Kai had to submit on April 24th about Earth Day and what her classmates could do in order for them to save planet Earth. That was a file upload. And here's an example of a video, and I won't play it because I tested it out and you can't hear it that well, but Kai had to upload when remote learning first started back in March. She had to upload a video telling what she enjoyed about remote learning and what she missed about school. In Class Dojo, the parents have this view on the left where you see your conversations. These are all of the conversations that I can have with my child's teacher. So you see I have the Spanish teacher, Miss Healy, dance teacher, Miss Ples. I can send a message to Principal Pollard. The next person is myself, as I am the assistant principal, or I could send a message to Kai's health/physical education teacher. If you are sending a private message as a clinician or as an educator or as an administrator, it will come to the parent's personal message. So right now, here's an example of a personal message where Miss Kathy was letting me know to not worry about an assignment that we needed more assistance on. Here's an example of a public message. Looks the same, right? However, everyone got this message where she explained that today was going to be report card pickup day and how we needed to be on time to make sure that we joined our session in Zoom that we signed up for. The plus is that as a teacher, you can see when the parents read your messages. So that's always a plus. So they can't say, well, I didn't know, I didn't get that. You can go right back to Class Dojo and say, well, according to this, someone in your household received this message at this time. Before I go to any questions, I am going to share with you that Class Dojo has a remote learning site. So if you decide to use Class Dojo and you just Class Dojo /remote learning, there is a 30-minute webinar that Caitlin Warren provides. She puts on most of the webinars, and it will walk you through every feature that you need to go through for Class Dojo. I know that my portion is just an overview, but you'll really be able to go into depth as in a self-paced mode. I am going to stop sharing my screen and jump right into my daughter's Class Dojo page. And as you can see, here is what I was describing with Miss Kathy. She gives a video on how her students can watch how she filled out her Mother of the Year award. She's letting them know she wants them to use the Oreo method. And I'm just scrolling down so you guys can see. That was the Zoom for Kai to join for Miss Shay's dance class. We talked about Cinco de Mayo. So as a teacher, everyone gets this. And here's this remote learning plan, and she goes on and she gives, you can send a message to your students, and then you can answer any questions that you may have. If you are looking to look at the child's portfolio, when you assign a lesson, all the parents have to do is click on their child's name. Right now, Kai does not have any assignments, but if you have activities where you want them to upload a file or anything like that, it will show what they need to do right here. And then you can see the portfolio of assignments that she has already created. So Class Dojo is a great way for teachers, educators, and clinicians to communicate with their parents. I won't go into the administrator point of view because it'll take too long for me to bring it up. But as an administrator, you have access to send out one message to all of your families, as opposed to the teacher who could just send it out to their home page. Now, we know Class Dojo used to be used to assign points. You can still do that, especially for our primary grades. They still very much look forward to those points. You can give awards and certificates still, but this is a great way for you to connect with your families during this remote learning period. And as I open it up for Faith to share any questions that I can ask at this time, I will show you the site where you can click on for the remote learning for Class Dojo.
Okay, thank you, Shirley Roberson. We're going to move to the Q&A, 5 minutes of Q&A on Shirley's presentation, and that's going to be done by CSU alum Faith Fields, who is currently a 7th grade math teacher at Dixon Elementary, and she's taught mathematics to students in grades 5 through 8 for the past 13 years. She's also the school-wide math lead, new teacher mentor, and has served as an official Khan Academy ambassador, which is going to be our next topic, for the state of Illinois. So Faith, can you share a couple of questions about Class Dojo?
I can. So our most common question for today is Dojo approved through the CPS list of approved websites?
That's a great question. So right now, CPS does not endorse Class Dojo. They endorse any platform from the Google suite. However, in webinars with CPS, they state that because this is an unprecedented time and you have to use what works best for you, they make sure that anyone who uses Class Dojo, that the staff members read through the acceptable use policy, that they share Class Dojo's privacy policy with parents, and that they give parents the option to opt out of using Class Dojo as it is not endorsed by CPS. However, they do recognize that the Google Suite is not the only platform that educators and clinicians and administrators will be using during this unprecedented time.
Okay. Okay, our next question was more technical. So someone wanted clarity. I believe it was Antoinette Walden about, can you upload a video from the web without using the app videos?
Yes, so I'm not in my administrator's file, but Miss Kathy can upload videos. So when she goes on to post something, they'll give her the option to upload. She can create an event. She can upload a video. Let's say if you want to upload a Khan Academy math lesson or a Khan Academy reading lesson or read aloud from somewhere else, you can upload videos from the web, but you have to be in the app to do that. You cannot be on the website.
Okay. Okay. And then our third question came from Malika Frazen, and it says, does Dojo have the ability to send text messages to caregivers? I currently use Remind, and what I like about it is that it sends messages to caregivers by text, email, or the app. So if families don't have internet access, they can still use it.
So I know that Dojo, and I'm very familiar with Remind as well. When you have a message on Class Dojo, it will go through and let you know that you have a message, but you still have to go through the app to access that message. So it will, if you're signed up via a cellular phone, it will text your phone and say, you have a message from Class Dojo, click here, and it'll take you directly to the message. Or if you're signed up via email, very similar to a Remind, but you won't get the message in its entirety when you get the notification.
Okay. Okay. And I don't know if we have time for a few more. We have some really good questions that came in. I tried to take the ones that was first. If we have any extra time about Dojo, we can come back to it. And to summarize some of the later questions, and Shirley, maybe you can kind of wrap it up with answering a few questions at a time. How can Dojo be used simultaneously between two schools? In terms of the messages posting, who's posting the messages, and then the daily messages, should they be posted under the class story, or as a parent, do you prefer seeing them as a personal message?
Absolutely. So if you're between two schools, you can share. If you're the teacher, you can share your page with any other teacher. And if I go in and I sign in as an administrator, you can only sign in one at a time. When you log in, they ask you to choose who you like to be. And if I go in under my administrator page, I'm shared on all my teachers' pages. So if you're sharing them between two schools, they will be able to see the message. As I prefer, it depends. If it's a personal message about my daughter, of course, that's a private message. But I look forward to the class stories that's posted because it's always something cool. And this is a way for me to communicate with the other families as well. And so I want to let you know that as a school, you see the last time we posted a school story was back in 2017. And that was because we used our Twitter and Remind page to send out our files, and we were going directly on our teachers' pages. So here I have the capabilities of going and going and accessing any of these classrooms that I would need if I would need to post something onto their class page. And I'll just choose an 8th grade page, for example. And if I go to the class story, I could post a message, and here you see that the teacher is posting. You see how many people have viewed it, and I can also upload. I can put a photo up there as the assistant principal, a file. I can record an event. Record, or I can post an event. Right now, there are 85 parents connected to this 8th grade class. Only 2 parents are left. And then we use other platforms such as Remind, Twitter, and our own webpage to disseminate information to our families.
Okay, we probably need to move on to our second presentation, but I thank you so very, very much, Assistant Principal Shirley Roberson, for that great presentation. At this point, yes. At this point, we are going to move on to our next presentation on Khan Academy. And this presentation is going to be done by Francie Nimson Boateng. She has been a CPS educator for the past 19 years. She holds a Master's of Science in Education, completed Chicago State's Principal Preparation Program last year, and is currently working toward renewing her National Board certification. She's taught grades 3 through 8. Her passion and area of expertise is middle school math. Currently, this is her second year as the IB Middle Years Program Coordinator at Carnegie School. So take it away, Ms. Nimson Boateng.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Lynch. In addition to all of that, I am currently homeschooling my 7- and 8-year-old. So we're all in this together in more ways than one. So Khan Academy, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the platform, was created in 2006 by Sal Khan. The site includes multiple exercises and videos across various subjects. Khan Academy can also be accessed via their app on mobile devices, and all resources are completely free. There's a lot to cover in the 10 minutes, so I'll be moving rather quickly, but everything that I talk about will be available to you more in depth through videos and Q&A format through keeplearning.khanacademy.org, and I will show that to you. It's keeplearning.khanacademy.org, and so it has multiple resources that you can share with parents. It has resources for teachers about getting started, various professional learning sessions that are pre-recorded, and you can also sign up for live sessions. And everything I talk about today, if you just click one of these links, you'll get more in-depth information about it. There's also information for districts who are interested in getting an upgraded version of Khan Academy for all the schools in their district. So the first step of using Khan Academy is signing in to Khan Academy. And so what I'll do is I'm going to log out as if I am not signed in. And so when you're not signed in, your screen looks like this. And if you already have an account, you would just hit log in. If you don't, you would click sign up. And so from sign up, it gives you the option, and most of you are teachers. And in CPS, we have a Google account through, we have a CPS account through Google, as do our students. And so the quickest way to sign in is through your Google account, though you may sign up using these other platforms. And so you want to click sign in through Google because it is the quickest way, and your students also want to sign in that way. Once you are logged in, you want to enroll students. And so as you see, I have several classes here, but if you have no experience with Khan Academy and have no classes, you'll want to add a new class. So you'll click here, and this is your teacher dashboard. And if you're ever within the site and kind of get lost within the site, because there's a lot there, to get back to your main teacher dashboard, you just come and you click your name in the upper right-hand corner, and you click teacher dashboard. And it will bring you back to this screen where you can start everything over. And so you will add a new class. And the easiest way is through Google Classroom. So you would just name your class. We can just call this one remote learning. And then once you have named your class, it will ask you what courses you want that class enrolled in. And so you just click what courses you want that particular class to take, and you can change those at any time. And then it'll give you options for adding students. Like I said, Google Classroom is the easiest way to upload your students because you can just upload the whole class at one time and then add additional students as needed. You can also provide your class with a link where they can join your class. And then the third way is to add each student's name individually if you do not have a Google Classroom account. And for Google Classroom, it's as simple as going to the Google Classroom site and clicking the plus and creating a class. When you're creating when you're as the teacher, you would create a class and you would receive a class code that you would give to your students, and then the students will go to the same site and click join a class, and then they would enter the code that you give to them from your class, and then your class will start to populate and you will add your students that way through Google Classroom. So once you have you're logged in and you've enrolled your students, then you can start to assign lessons to your students. And so Assigning lessons, there are four main ways to assign lessons. One way is through just individual lessons. Let's say you've had a Google Meet and you've taught a lesson and you want to reinforce those skills in that lesson. You can just assign individual lessons. You click on your class, as I just did, and you choose from any of the lessons that are in the courses you have selected for your students. And so if I want to assign number and operations, I can expand that to see the individual lessons. And the lessons come in the form of videos. This triangle represents a video. The pencil is an actual exercise with math questions. And I'm focusing on the math component, but like I said, there are many courses across subject levels that you can use with Khan Academy. And then there are also articles that can be assigned that explain certain topics. And so you can assign lessons from here. So I would just click in the checkbox and I can come up here and I can assign that lesson. It gives me the option of assigning it to all students, or I can go through and assign it I can individualize and personalize my instruction by just assigning it to individual students or small groups of students. So single lessons is one way to assign work in Khan Academy. You can also place students on learning path or course mastery placement. And so a course is generally just a set of problems within one grade level that you assign to students. And so if you wanted to place students in a course of mastery, you would create mastery goals for your students. So, you know, we know that within classrooms, we have ranges of abilities within classrooms and ranges of readiness of students. And so you create a goal based on what you know about your students from their tests in class, their standardized test scores, what you know about their parental support, or whatever information you gathered about your students up to this point. You would decide which course from the ones you've selected at the beginning you want to put that child in. And then again, with that entire course, you can personalize it based on the needs of your students. So if you put everyone in one course, you know, of course, we have so little time left at the end of the year. And so you might want to just have students complete a certain set of problems just to ensure they're ready for the next grade. You would put everybody in the same course. If you want to personalize it, you can uncheck boxes and then put those students in a higher or lower level depending on what they need. And then you would create the goal for those students, and then those students would then take the self-paced approach where they are working their way through an entire course of lessons. There's also the weekly learning path that students can take, and this is something that Khan Academy came up with just in light of everyone being at home and needing resources for their students. And so they've created the weekly learning plans, and so you can go there. And again, that's in the Keep Learning site that I gave everyone at the beginning. So you click on what grade you want the students to complete. And then what Khan Academy has done is they have actually given a plan. So they've given a 20-week plan where students can just click the links and complete those lessons for the given weeks. And of course, these dates can be modified. They earn points, which encourage them and motivate them to stay on task. They can say how many points they actually earned out of the total possible points. And then there's also a 12-week option. And then they said, okay, if you have a little time, you can also finish these lessons. But with any of these full course options, students are able to take the course challenge, or it used to be called a mission challenge, where they can see what skills they've already mastered within that course. And so it allows them to level up quicker in certain skills. And so we'll get to the last way to assign lessons in a moment, but then you want to check on student progress. Okay, we want to see how our students are doing. We may want to assign grades. We might want to meet with small groups based on how we see performance. And so for the mastery courses, we can see how far students are along in a particular course. Here for my algebra class earlier in the year, I see that 11%, I see that these students have completed 11 or 12% of the 8th grade course. So I have a range of between 11% and 34% of the course completed by different students. I can go down and it breaks it down by the various units. If I click, I can see which students have completed which lessons, and it gives me data that I can refer to to celebrate students who have mastered skills. It allows me to see what small groups I can possibly make to meet with students online. It tells me what lessons I might consider teaching whole group based on what students might not have started yet or what they're struggling with. I can also check progress on individual assignments. I can see student scores on particular assignments. I can go in and I can see who has started an assignment, who has not started an assignment. And so there are various ways you can view student progress on Khan Academy. The last way you can assign lessons is based on NWEA scores, and it's connected to the khanacademy.org site, but it's a separate site. And so in order to get to the Mappers site, it's called Mappers, you would just go to khanacademy.org/Mappers, and you would access your students' scores, their NWEA scores on each strand within math, and you can actually enter their scores right here into the Mappers site. If you've never entered scores before, there will be blank boxes here, and you would enter their scores. There's a range for each strand, and you would simply enter the lowest score within the range so that students can have a comfortable starting point as they start the lessons that are generated by Khan Academy based on the students' NWEA score. So this is the most personalized approach, I think, going by the NWEA scores that really lead towards growth of each student in every strand of math. And so you could just click there, and for grades 2 through 5, it already defaults to that level. For 6 and up, you would have to change it to the 6+ and then enter their scores from there. And then once the scores are entered, the lessons generate, and students can just click on a strand and work on their lessons from there. And as they finish, you would just move them up to the next level.
Nancy, thank you. Can we take a break here now and take some questions?
Most definitely.
All right, Faith, take it away.
Okay, sure. All right, Francie. So some of our most common questions was about a lot of people associate Khan Academy with math. What other subjects could they expect to find on Khan Academy?
Sure. I'm going to go to the page, and here when you actually first open up Khan Academy, there's a tab here where you can go to courses, and if you click courses, you can see all the different subjects offered. There's various areas of math. The math is by grade. We have science and engineering topics, arts and humanities topics. There is test prep, college admissions information, economics, computing. There's also a Khan Kids app for students ages 2 through 7. And then there are also ELA skills. And so to see a full list of them, you just click the courses tab at the very, in the upper left-hand corner when you first log in.
Okay. A few of our other questions were more about from the teacher perspective. people wanted to know, how do they get started as a teacher? How do they look at the grades or the assignments that they've already given? So how do they monitor the students' assignments once they start assigning? And I'll tie this one in there. As a parent, if I wanted to, could I assign work for my student myself?
Yes. And so to get started, you would simply start your account. So when you first log in to the account, or when you first open up the screen to start your account, you would just simply go to khanacademy.org, the site. There's also an app available. You would click sign up, and then you would click your role. So you're either a teacher or a parent, and so teachers and parents can sign up for accounts. It's pretty self-explanatory as it walks you through it. It won't allow me to walk through it right now because I'm already signed up, but as you go through, it's very self-explanatory. I know there's one option where they they're asking, for you to allow access. You want to click allow, and then you start to assign your students. So most students, depending on their age, younger students can't sign up on their own. They will ask for a parent email if a student tries to sign up on their own. So students must have a teacher or a parent as a coach. And so teachers have various ways. Once the teacher has the account set up, there are many ways that you can set up your account. It's either through Google Classroom, by giving students your Khan Academy code. Let me see if I have that available here. So I'm going to go back to my teacher dashboard. And usually when you go back to your teacher dashboard, okay, so it kicked me out again, so I'm logging in. When you're at your teacher dashboard, the code is there for you to share with students. But again, the easiest way is through Google Classroom. And then the other way was, how do you keep track of assignments? When you're within your classroom, when you click on a class, there's a column over here where you click on assignment. So if you click manage, when they're within a course, you look at progress through the course. So you can see how students are progressing through the course. You can see what lessons they have completed, what lessons they have yet to complete. When you are assigning individual lessons, you can come over here and you can click scores to see what scores students have received. As soon as students finish a lesson, it gives their score in real time. And so it's available there. And then under the Manage tab, you can see who has started a lesson, who hasn't started a lesson. It actually lets you see what questions students have answered, and like how many attempts they have made at a certain lesson. And so it's a matter of just working your way through these tabs.
Okay, and I think this will be our last one. A few people wanted to know more about using the mappers. So is there an easy way for students to log into mappers versus just using the Khan Academy site?
Unfortunately, there is no app for mappers. In order to access mappers, students would have to log into their Khan Academy account and then go to the website khanacademy.org/mappers. So they would have to make sure they're signed in so that teachers can actually see progress. If the student isn't signed in, you will not be able to see their progress.
Okay.
All right. Thank you both very much. Thank you, Francie, for a great presentation, and Faith will be back after our next presenter. So time to move the agenda here and go to our last presenter. So I'm going to enable him to share his screen, and I would like to introduce to you Dr. Athanase Gahungu. He is a professor of educational leadership and administration at Chicago State, one of Dr. Elhaj and my favorite colleagues. He is also the program facilitator for the CSU Principal Preparation Program. He will discuss today how to use ScreencastO'matic free screen recorder to send how-to instructions to students, parents, and colleagues. So Dr. Gahungu, take it away.
My former students, Assistant Principal Robertson and MCL, are you an MCL? Francie, and then of course our ambassador for Khan Academy, Faith. So before I start, today I'm going to speak about ScreencastO'matic. In schools, we have a version for much shorter recording called Screencastify. So today I'm going to speak about ScreencastO'matic, what it does, how it is used, and I will also give a little demonstration, if time allows, about how to retrieve those calibration videos that your MCLs, your teachers, anybody who is evaluated needs to know the Danielson framework. So that's what I'm going to do. But before I start, I'm going to challenge all of us who are teachers and ask you, not just teachers, in your home, when you need those instructions, when you need how to plant flowers, what do? Chances are you Google it, and you go to YouTube and you Google and you find that. But what if that YouTube video we see was you? And that's where ScreencastO'matic comes in, that you can actually send those instructions. But it's more than that. All of you teachers, all of you leaders, you sometimes have to hire substitute teachers, particularly now. You need to send those long division instructions to parents, to students, to other teachers. Tell them, this is how I do it. And I know you can do this over the phone, your iPhone, but iPhone can be cumbersome. You have to hold it with one hand. What if you could just go to your screen and record what you're saying? So today I'm showing you how ScreencastO'matic, which is used to record the screen, but also when you add a little money, you can also do the video editor. And the video editor allows you to shorten the instructions you are saying, or to give them to use enough space you want. Now, there is a catch. What I'm using is free, but when it is free, there is always a cost. Free, it's only 15 minutes. If you want to record for longer, you will need to sign in to subscribe. I've subscribed. It's helping me with my classes. So I'm going to show you how it works. So bear with me. So what you see here is now the free version. If not, I could go either here, it's not showing very well, but I could log in using my username and password, or if you've never done it, if your parents wants to use it, if your subs wants to use it, tell them to sign up for free. You only pay if you are using long spaces of time. So I'm going to start ScreencastO'matic. And whenever you start, it's going to start to ask you to launch the free. I could have used the one that I paid for, but for the sake of this presentation this morning, I'm going to use this one. It's going to ask me to launch it. And while I'm waiting, I told you that at the end, I'm going to show you how to access those videos, many videos that the Illinois Principals Association has put together to help teachers learn how the Danielson framework works. So, like I told you, everything that's on this screen is going to be recorded. You can expand the area. You can shorten it if you want, but for the sake of we're doing, I'm going to stick to that. And before you start, there are 3 functions. You can just use the screen. You can use your webcam, and you can use both the screen and the webcam. And before you start, you're going to have to record. So for the sake of today, I'm going to go to Illinois Principals Association so that I can show you how to find those many videos that are there. The videos are good because not only do you get a video of a teacher teaching their class, but it shows you how experts have rated their 4 domains. Let's go 4 domains: the preparation, classroom environment, instruction, and the professional responsibilities. So you would know if they say this teacher is proficient, then the experts would tell you, we saw this. So to me, even if you are just a teacher, make sure you have access to that. You will need to subscribe to register with Illinois Principals Association, but I would think any MCL, your multi-classroom leaders have that, your assistant principals have that, any leaders on your ILT and so forth should probably have access to the videos and should already have registration information with them, login information. So let me show you, then I'm going to go Illinois Principals Association, illprincipals.org. Bear with me, it's taking a while to come. I did not ask Dr. El Hadj how many were former students were attending today. That's one of the things she probably wants to give back to me. So one have plenty of, okay. So once I see the this illinoisprincipals.org, I'm going to then start recording. So to start, you just go to recording in the corner, and it's going to give me the time. So that's, I had 3 seconds. Now, whatever I'm saying now would be recorded on the screen. We are now in Principals Association website. All you need to do, what I will be sending you, is to go to learning. And videos are stored in Educational Leaders Network. And I'm going to
We lost your audio, Dr. Gahungu. Dr. Gahungu, we lost your audio. Maybe while we're waiting for him to get it back, Faith, are there any questions so far about Screencastify?
Yes. So far, Dr. Gahungu, if you are here, the question that I have, someone wanted more clarification about the free process. So what's available through the free version versus purchasing the account? I'm not sure if Dr. Gahungu can hear me.
Yeah, we're still having audio problems, Dr. Gahungu.
Well, Faith, I know that in conversation with Dr. Gahungu, for the free version, there is a only a certain amount of time that you can upload videos, and if you pay for the version for the paid version, you are allowed to have more time uploading videos and sending files to the participants.
Yes, I believe that he said the time limit was 15 minutes, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
Yes, if you want to go over 15 minutes, then to make a video, then you would need to purchase an account for longer videos, and I believe for more editing properties.
Any other questions up there, Faith, that some of our expert panelists might be able to answer?
How is Screencastify different? So if there's anybody who's familiar with Screencastify versus ScreencastO'matic, I think Dr. Gahungu said that they were both related, but I do not use either for making videos. So Dr. Gahungu has more knowledge in terms of the differences between them. Someone asked, how is Google Classroom? How is this used for Google Classroom purposes? I can speak to that while we wait on Dr. Gahungu. Inside of Google Classroom, you can upload videos for students. So if you're making the videos using ScreencastO'matic, you can use those videos to upload lessons for students to look at a later time on their own or with you.
Okay. Maybe time for one more question before we have to wrap up the webinar. So another question there, Faith?
Okay, I think I'm looking, and I'm just trying to see because some people are going back to Dojo or Khan Academy. I want to make sure I get them. How often can you upload a video for the 15 minutes in a time frame? I believe you can make videos as much as you like with the free version, as long as they are not 15 minutes, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
And you can upload in Google Classroom as much as you like. So there is no limit with uploading in Google Classroom.
That is correct, Faith. The free version does allow you to record up to 15 minutes, and you can record as many videos as you like.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
All right, at this point, we are at the end of our webinar session. And so all of the resources that Dr. Gahungu mentioned, as well as our other presenters, will be put into the follow-up email that you all will be receiving later today. So we want to sincerely thank Shirley Roberson, Francie Nimson-Boateng, Faith Fields, and Dr. Athanase Gahungu for these great presentations this morning and this important information. We thank you, our participants, so much for your participation as well. We would like to remind you that the session has been recorded. In fact, I'm going to share my screen for a moment and show you our College of Education website, where we have housed all of the videos from this series and will continue to do so. So what you're looking at right now is the Chicago State website and our introduction to our webinars. And you'll be able to also see, as you scroll down on this screen, our upcoming webinars as well. So today's webinar will be, the link for the recording will be up here, and you'll be able to see the sneak preview of our upcoming webinars. And again, we will be sending you an email later today with your certificate of completion, any PowerPoint presentations from our presenters today, and any links that they have provided, along with a link to the recorded webinar. As soon as you exit the webinar today, we ask you to please complete the exit survey. It will pop up on your screen, so please take a couple of minutes to complete it. Your feedback is very important to us. Stay tuned for next week's webinar. As you know, we email out announcements about the week's webinar every Monday for the upcoming Thursday morning webinars. And as I mentioned, the webinars will continue through Thursday, June 11th. Thank you again for your participation this morning, and stay safe and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, everybody. We're glad you were here, able to join us today. And we're signing out for now. See you next time. Bye.